Here's a Beyond the Pitch podcast quick hit from the WVSA Digital Network.
So the first thing I'll do is start with a breathing technique. And I guess the important point here is that you're breathing out longer than you're breathing in. And so if you're breathing out longer than you're breathing in, you're activating that relaxation system, that parasympathetic nervous system. And so breathing techniques you could do would be, for example, snake breathing, where you breathe in and then hiss out. And so you're breathing out longer than you're breathing in. That's one. Another breathing technique would be the 4-7-8 breathing technique. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8 seconds. And you're, again, breathing out longer than you're breathing in. And so having a breathing technique on hand is something you could try to help relax you during the night, but also having a cognitive technique. So there's a technique called the cognitive shuffle, where you think of a word such as bedtime. I don't know if I've told you this before or not. I probably have, because I pretty much tell everyone about this. But you think of a word such as bedtime, you imagine all the objects you can, starting with that first letter: ball, baby, bag, banana. Move on to the next letter: E, eagle, egg, ear. And by the time you get to the end of the word, you'll be sound asleep. And I actually use this technique with my kids as well. And, you know, they're younger, so they're not good spellers yet. But I tell them to pick a color and then just imagine all the objects they can that is that color. So that's something to include in your middle of the night routine. And then it's important that if you haven't fallen asleep, and you don't want to look at the clock, but if it's been around 20 minutes, you don't want to just lay in bed, because then you'll start to associate your bed with being awake. And so I do that breathing technique, I'll do that cognitive technique, and then that's been around 15 minutes. If I'm still awake, I will get up out of bed, do a relaxing activity, and only return back to bed when I'm tired. So that's really important for people to know. You know, sometimes you just can't go back to sleep. So the best thing to do is just get up out of bed, maybe do a little light reading in low light, take a bath, do a relaxing activity, and then only return back to bed when you're tired. And so for me, I think I woke up around 2:30 last night, did my little routine, couldn't go back to bed. And then I only returned back to bed, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, when I felt sleepy again. And I was able to fall asleep again just before my alarm woke me up.